Okay, so first off, we have in goals, we have Jack Grealish. So he played, Jack Grealish played for the under 21 Ireland. So he played for Ireland um, underage a lot. But then, uh, Grealish so far from only player Ireland boss Martin O'Neill. Okay, so first off, we have in goal Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish, um, he's a young talent, obviously not. Uh, Ireland are looking still. I think he's still possible because he hasn't made an official, like proper English appearance. So Ireland are still battling to try and get this guy. He played for Ireland under 21s when he was younger, and they're hoping to bring him in really into the team, and yeah, they're still battling really with England to try and get him because England haven't called him up, and he's made a few appearances for Ireland underage, but he's made a few appearances for underage in England as well. So let's get into the next player. The next one, I actually didn't know myself, but Mark Noble is actually eligible to play for Ireland. I did not know this, but he's a former under 21 captain, Mark Noble, for England, and he hasn't played. His preference is to play for England, but he has not been given a call up for England yet, and so yeah, he is a definite player that Manchester United, uh, definite player that Manchester United could go and look to bring. I mean, not Manchester United. I mean, Ireland could potentially look to bring in to the team. For Ireland, actually, Callum Wilson actually qualifies, and Martin O'Neill was very, very interested in bringing him in. The year that he scored 22 goals in the championship, he was very interested. He was a former England under 21, and England have not senior capped him yet, and neither have Ireland. And Ireland are looking to hopefully get cap him with his first international cap, but nobody knows if Wilson will actually go and play for Ireland. Is Nathan Redmond. Uh, Redmond has been doing quite well for Southampton, and also at his time at Norwich. Ireland were looking at him, and O'Neill has been looking for him, and he's racked up 22 appearances for England under 21s for the last 2 years that he's been playing with them, and he still hasn't been called up to the senior team. And he has, I believe it's grandparents from Ireland, so he is actually eligible to come and play for Ireland, which was I kind of knew this one myself, but it still shocked me a tiny little bit. Now, a couple of people may know this one already, but Wayne Rooney is actually he's not eligible anymore because he's made so many England appearances, but he was, and Ireland were looking to bring him in because he actually had grandparents from Ireland, and he was able to play for Ireland, but he snubbed Ireland for England. Obviously, that's the place he was born, and it was his grandparents who were from Ireland. That's the only reason that he was eligible, but he would have been a very, very nice and good addition to the Irish senior team. Even now, like, England fans don't really like him over in England. Well, they do like him, but they don't really want him to be playing ahead of other players. And really, Ireland, I'd take him all day, but we actually have a few decent midfielders that would get in ahead of him. even strikers. Probably he might not even get into our Ireland team, but he is eligible to play for Ireland. Probably not anymore, but he was. Now, some people might not know this one, but Patrick Bamford is actually eligible for Ireland. And actually, I wouldn't be totally against getting this guy because Ireland are missing a striker. We have Shane Long, Robbie Keane just left there, but we only really have Shane Long, and Shane Long's 29 years old now as well. So we really need to be looking, and Martin O'Neill really needs to be looking at strikers, maybe young strikers that can come in and fill up for Shane Long, because Shane Long's 29 years old. Probably the next World Cup will be probably his last World Cup, because if we get to it. But yeah, I wouldn't be totally against getting this guy into the Irish football team. Now, some people might not know this, but Aaron Lennon is actually qualified. He can play for Ireland. He was eligible for Ireland through his mother. His mother was Irish, but he did go with the squad with England's 2006 team, so he's not eligible anymore, which is a shame because he's actually a very, very, very decent player. But Gary Cahill actually was eligible for Ireland. He was able to play for Ireland, and he was linked with them since 2009, which is quite a long time, and also he wasn't really put to the test, really. He wasn't really given the chance to come to Ireland because he wanted really just to play with England, so obviously that's why. The next player that shocks me so much is this man, Paul Scholes. I never knew that Paul Scholes was eligible for Ireland, and it came to such a shock. He was eligible for Ireland. He was eligible for Ireland through his grandparents, one of his grandparents, I think. But he was eligible, and he did not. And that would have been unbelievable. Like if Paul Scholes was playing for Ireland, that would have been so good. That if he was going to be playing, like that would have been unbelievable. But obviously he didn't, and that was actually a real shame. Now, a player that shocked me when I just saw that he is eligible for Ireland is Tim Cahill. Now, Tim Cahill is he was meant to be on the Ireland team. Like he wanted to play for Ireland, okay? And this is the most annoying thing about it, but he wanted to play for Ireland. And Mick McCarthy, back in 2002, when they were going to the World Cup, he wanted to get him on board. He wanted to bring him into the team. But the only reason he could not play for Ireland, the only reason he didn't play for Ireland was at the time, back in 2002, he had played underage football for Western Samoa. Now, obviously he plays for Australia now, but that's because the rules changed 2 years later. He didn't want to play for Western Samoa, so he played for them underage, but at the time, if you played for a club at underage, you would have to go on and play with them. But I don't know when the rule changed, but a few years later the rule changed. He moved to Australia, but that he genuinely really wanted to become an Irish player and to play for Ireland, so that was pretty disappointing. Now, this last one, it gets me going as well. That Darren Fletcher could have played for Ireland as well. Now, it says that Darren Fletcher's mother was from Mayo, and he could have played for Ireland, but he decided to go against it, play for Scotland, where he was from, where he was born. But he could have played for Ireland through his mother, because his mother was from Mayo. But back in 2013, okay, he showed how much he actually likes the county of Mayo by turning up to an All-Ireland final of football, the All-Ireland football final between Dublin and Mayo, back in 2013 up in Croke Park. For any of you that don't know it, it's one of the biggest events in Ireland, the All Ireland football final. But he showed up at that when Mayo were playing Dublin. Dublin came out on top in that one, but he still showed up to the game, and that was just a surprise for most people to actually see him at that game. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be our team. But like, if you look at that team, like some of the players I'd take off that, no problem. Like, there's some of those players that, like, imagine if Ireland had those players over the years. Like, they would have some team. They would have some team. But yeah, guys, just saying, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.